Good evening, everyone. A lot of friendly faces tonight in the audience. I can't even remember the last time I did a show in New York City. Well, I used to live in New York. Well, that was 16 years ago now. But it's fun to be back. And I'm glad I could park. Because I thought, I can't do the show if I can't park. I don't know how many people here have read the wonderful book, The Philosophy of Andy Warhol, From A to B and Back Again. And in it he says, America really is the beautiful. America is a truly democratic place. No matter how rich you are, no matter how poor you are, you go and buy a Coke, and they're all the same, and they're all good. Now, I have a program tonight of all historic material. A lot of it. I'm going to do a long set. And then we're going to have a break where you can goof off or split. And then I'm going to do a second set that's shorter. The first one has a predominantly farm theme. Many of these songs come from a book called Grange Melodies. Well, the Grange is an American farmers union that was established in the 1860s. And social singing was a part of their meetings and part of their bonding. It was a union for farmers so that farmers wouldn't be isolated and could gather together and have political power and fight monopolies. And so there's all this music. A lot of it is overtly about farming. Some of it is philosophical. Some of them are just like how not to get bummed out. Anyway, I was intrigued by the Grange melodies and the whole history of the Grange. And this is one of the songs called Plow Deeps, the motto. On the breeze, and they hear it from afar. Plow Deeps, the motto of the patrons. There's a union in the Grange that the world can never mar. Plow Deeps, the motto of the patrons. Plow deep forever, ye patrons, arise. Fraud and contention forever despise. We can tarry for the harvest, growing day by day. Plow Deep's the motto of the patrons. From the Granges of the east and the Granges of the west, Plow Deep's the motto of the patrons. From the north and from the south, in the land we love the best, Plow Deep's the motto of the patrons. Plow deep forever, ye patrons, arise. Fraud and contention forever despise. We can tarry for the harvest, growing day by day. Plow Deep's the motto of the patrons. Bold monopoly and faction will ever keep at bay. Plow Deep's the motto of the patrons, and dishonesty shall tremble when the farmers clear the way. Plow Deep's the motto of the patrons. Plow deep forever, ye patrons, arise. Fraud and contention forever despise. We can tarry for the harvest, growing day by day. Plow Deep's the motto of the patrons. We We are rooting out corruption in the highways of the land. Plow deep's the motto of the patron, and the mighty helm of state shall yet feel the farmer's hand. Plow deep's the motto of the patrons. Plow deep forever, ye patrons, arise. Fraud and contention forever despise. We can carry for the harvest, growing day by day. Plow deep's the motto of the patrons. Though troubles perplex you, dishearten and vex you, retarding your progress in somber array, to shrink from with terror is surely an error, for where there's a will, there is always a way. There's a way, there's a way. Wherever there's a will, there's a way. There's a way, there's a way. Wherever there's a will, there's a way. The task may be teasing, the duty displeasing, but he who confronts it will soon win the day. The fight is half over when once we discover that where there's a will, there is always a way. There's a way, there's a way. Wherever there's a will, there's a way. There's a way, there's a way. Wherever there's a will, there's a way. Misfortunes uncounted are often surmounted, if only we quit not the field in dismay. Then when war endeavor, remembering ever that where there's a will, there is always a way. There's a way, there's a way. Forever there's a will, there's a way. There's a way, there's a way. Wherever there's a will, there's a way. So both of those songs were at least published or compiled in 1891 and maybe a little older. This one is a mid-20th century song written by an apple farmer in the Hudson Valley, and it's called Acres of Apples. Came to the mid-Hudson Valley a many long year ago. I've spent all my time in the orchard making those red apples grow. Making those red apples grow. Making those red apples grow. and thinking each year as I labored that someday I might make me some dough. I sprayed them and sprayed them and sprayed them from early in April till fall. Those trees were so loaded with apples, you couldn't see green leaves at all. You couldn't see green leaves at all. You couldn't see green leaves at all. And what did I get for those apples? A penny a pound for them all. I have raised in my time enough apples to feed the whole state of New York. But I never made enough money to buy me a good roast of pork. To buy me a good roast of pork. To buy me a good roast of pork. The apples are raised in the valley, but the money is made in New York. But now I am joining a union for farmers like me. I'm tired of paying the broker his 110% fee. His 110% fee. His 110% fee. I'd like just a little left over, a little left over for me. And now that we're all in the union, some fellas had better get wise. They've stolen our left and our right arms, but we'll be damned if we give them our eyes. We'll be damned if we give them our eyes. We'll be damned if we give them our eyes. The next time they come to the valley, we'll cut down those bastards to size. This is a song that came from a musical that was written in 1918 called Why Do They All Take the Night Boat to Albany? Well, maybe it's clear in the song, but if you want me to spoil it, no. Okay. I don't like to spoil things, but I was just trying to help. Remember the shake and bake commercials from years ago? And we helped. That's what I think of when I think of helped. I helped. We helped. I play in a band. I play keyboard in a kind of rock and roll R&B band called Lex Gray and the Urban Pioneers, and she wrote a song called Chow Down. And in it is the line, cheese tortellini. And so whenever I go to my local luncheonette and they've got it, I said to the guy who works there, like, I can't look at that without hearing, cheese tortellini. Okay, now we're getting back to why. The sleuths will know why. We know what you're doing. Old Henry Hudson found a river that touches New York. The rest of the river's just a flivver because it creates such a talk. Summertime, that's the time spooners used to go rambling about. Now they take trips in rickety ships, but here's what I want to find out. Why do they all take the night boat to Albany? That's what's puzzling me. They all claim it's just for the sights, but just the same, they travel at night. I saw a fellow and his cute little pet. How is the Hudson? And they answered, it's wet. So tell me, why do they all take the night boat to Albany, then grab the next train for New York? Seems every Tom and Dick and Harry is rid of his worries and cares. They found that the Hudson steamers carry a cargo of peaches and pears, huddled and coddled together with no one to shout, cut it out. No wonder they state the river is great. To me it's a river of doubt. Why do they all take the night boat to Albany? That's what's puzzling me. They all claim it's just for the sights, but just the same, they travel at night. They play the searchlight on the shore as they float. They ought to play the searchlight right on the boat. So tell me, why do they all take the night boat to Albany, then grab the next train for New York? The steamboats had a lot less business when the railroads were built. And so they tried to get business by telling people they could sleep on the night boat and show up in the morning, fresh from their traveling. But really, it was a great place for the young people to go and make out. Oh, some think that the Lord is fat, and some that he is bony. But as for me, I think that he is like an abalone. Oh, some drink rain and some champagne and whiskey by the pony. But I would try a dash of rye and a hunk of abalone. Oh, some like ham and some like jam and some like macaroni. But our tomcat gets nice and fat on juicy abalone. The more we take, the more they make in deep-sea matrimony. Race suicide will ne'er betide the fertile abalone. I telegraph my better half by Morse or by Marconi. But when in need of greater speed, I send an abalone. Oh, Mission Point's a friendly joint where every crab's a crony. And true and kind, you'll ever find the faithful abalone. Some live on hope, and some on dope, and some on alimony. But as for me, I'm content to pay my rent and live on abalone. Oh, some folks boast of quail on toast because they think it's Tony. But I'm content with a pail of gin and a tub of abalone. Oh, some folks say that pain is real, and some say that it's phony. But as for me, when I can't agree, I eat an abalone. It was a song written in the 1920s by multiple authors, different author for every line. I don't know who any of them are other than, I think Sinclair Lewis was one of them. This is a song by Blind Alfred Reed from the 1920s. How can a poor man stand such times and live? Is this coming out? Okay. That's funner. There once was a time when everything was cheap, but now prices nearly puts a man to sleep. When we get our grocery bill, we just feel like making our will. Tell me, how can a poor man stand such times and live? I remember when dry goods were cheap as dirt. We could take 2 bits and buy a dandy shirt. Now we pay $3 or more, maybe get a shirt that another man wore. Tell me, how can a poor man stand such times and live? We need to trade by the man with the name of Gray. Flour was 50 cents for a 25-pound bag. Now it's $1.50 beside. Clouds like skinning off a flea for the hide. Tell me, how can a poor man stand such times and live? Oh, the schools we have today ain't worth a cent, but they see to it that every child is sent. If we don't send every day, we have a heavy fine to pay. Tell me, how can a poor man stand such times and live? Prohibition's good if it's conducted right. There's no sense in shooting a man till he shows flight. Officers kill without a cause, then complain about funny laws. Tell me, how can a poor man stand such times and live? Most all preachers preach for gold and not for souls. That's what keeps a poor man always in a hole. We can hardly get our breath, taxed and schooled and preached to death. Tell me, how can a poor man spend such times and live? Oh, it's time for every man to be awake. We pay 50 pence a pound when we ask for steak. When we get our package home, a little wad of paper full of gristle and bone. Tell me, how can a poor man stand such times and live? Well, the doctor comes around with a face all bright, and he says, in a little while you'll be all right. All he gives is a humbug pill, a dose of dope, and a great big bill. Tell me, how can a poor man stand such times and live? There is wisdom in the Proverbs of a bygone day, much wisdom in the sayings that our fathers used to say. If we could but remember them, they'd save us pain and woe. So listen while I tell you of those sayings, if I may. You never miss the water when the well runs dry, and if you step upon a rake, 'twill bop you in the eye. So save up all your money for a rainy day, then wait, wait, wait till the clouds roll by. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. So take another aspirin if it hurts your head to think. People in glass houses should pull down the window shades, and never, never, never bathe in the kitchen sink. For all that glitters, so they tell us, is not gold, and moss is never gathered by a stone that's being rolled. But who in heaven's name has any earthly use for moss? For you can't get any younger when you've really gotten old. As guiding his plow mid the corn rows, the grass and the weeds to destroy, what wonderful daydreams of pleasure take form in the mind of the boy. He knows not the wiles of the city. The city has many a charm. So, boy, from your reverie waken. 'Tis better to stay on the farm. 'Tis better to stay on the farm, my boy. 'Tis better to stay on the farm. Your dreaming will lead you to harm, my boy. Will certainly lead you to harm. 'Tis better to stay on the farm. The gas-lighted hall with its pleasures he dreams of and longs to be there. And heedless of trouble or labor, he thitherward seems to repair. How stupid a life in the country! The city has many a charm. My boy, from your reverie waken. 'Tis better to stay on the farm. 'Tis better to stay on the farm, my boy. 'Tis better to stay on the farm. Your dreaming will lead you
to harm, my boy, will certainly lead you to harm. 'Tis better to stay on the farm. He dreams he's a clerk at the counter and thinks it is almost divine. He toils in the cornfield no longer, no more shall his spirit repine. But hearken, the noon bell is calling, the dreamer stops up in alarm. My boy, from your reverie waken, 'tis better to stay on the farm. 'Tis better to stay on the farm, my boy. 'Tis better to stay on the farm. My boy, if you'll only believe me, 'tis better to stay on the farm. 'Tis better to stay on the farm.
Can I use this as a towel? No, I don't want to wreck the nice curtain. Maybe there's something in this picnic basket. Nah, just a bunch of metal. Oh, well.
The engineer will see to your needs.
Well, I'll just use my hands as a squeegee.
Donated.
Oh, wow. You are so kind. Look at that. It's like a special bag. When I was a kid, we had a copy of The Best of Life, a book of photographs from Life magazine. And one of the photographs was a kind of a piece of cardboard with this tiny square of terry cloth glued to it. And printed on it, it said, "This is a portion of the towel the Beatles used to wipe their faces on such and such concert, 1964. Wow, I wonder how many squares they got out of that towel. Here's an early 20th century song called "We're the Sunday Drivers." The tank is full of gasoline. I've bought a quart of oil. I'm stepping out in my machine next Sunday with the Goyles. My leaping Leslie's polished up. She's aching for the bell. Say, when we hit that boulevard, you're going to hear us yell. On the road and off the road, we're the Sunday drivers, taking curves quite a la mode. We're the Sunday drivers. When we're in our flivver coupes, you will hear us holler whoops. You're not safe on your front stoops. We're the Sunday drivers. Got no lights and got no brakes. We're the Sunday drivers. We're to blame for all the wakes. We're the Sunday drivers. When we're riding in our hacks, for a driver we don't lack. 1 in front, 16 in back. We're the Sunday drivers. Rolling backwards down a hill, we're the Sunday drivers. Giving traffic cops a thrill, we're the Sunday drivers. We go riding in a bunch, and we always bring our lunch. If you hear a slam, bang, crunch, we're the Sunday drivers. We meet
at crossings too. We're the Sunday drivers. Sometimes we win, sometimes they do. We're the Sunday drivers. If from trouble you would hide, want to commit suicide, just come with us and take a ride. We're the Sunday drivers.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, I'm all set. Much better. I could wear this handkerchief style. Very elegant. Here's a song called Be Content with the World.
Be content with the world as you find it, nor be always bemoaning your lot. Though you have your own measure of trouble, who is there in this world who has not? Do the best that you can in your station, always cheerily acting your part. Keep a stiff upper lip in vexation, and an honest intent in your heart. God exempteth no mortal from trouble, not alone are the poor in distress. Though the heart may be heavy in homespun, in broadcloth it may weigh nonetheless. God on his throne, the proud king may be wretched, and the queen may be weary of life, while the peasant in rags may be joyous, bright and happy, his hard-working wife. Every heart its own bitterest knoweth, nor can guess at the pain in the breast of the one whom the foolish world envies, as with every prosperity blessed. It is braver to hide your vexation, and worries conceal in your breast. Do the best that you can in your station, and let fortune take care of the rest.
Next song was written in 1912, and it's about a man named E.P. Walker. He was the first to take a mechanized wheat threshing machine through Saskatchewan. And this song has survived. I learned it from a Folkways record. And in the liner notes, and the record I think was published in the 50s, and it said that all the names of people are authentic to something that actually happened, but none of them was around anymore to record it. So they got somebody else, and he did a bang-up job. It's fun, too, on those records to see the discrepancies between what people sing and then what's printed in the liner notes. Come all ye farmers, come all that can, if you want to hear the story of a thrasher man. E.P. Walker was the thrasher's name. On a 3660, boys, he lost his claim. Chester called Walker at 4:30, said, "Come on, old man, let us thrash some more." The old man cried, "Where shall it be?"
Oh, let us police and thrash Minifee. E.P. Walker mounted to the separator. E.P. Walker with his oil can in his hand. E.P. Walker mounted to the separator, took his farewell trip to the thrasher's land. The belt caught Walker and gave him quite a scare, held him by the arm with his feet in the air. He yelled and he waved with all his might, but the little engineer was out of sight. He thrashed for the farmers from far and near, and the big drive belt E.P. Walker did fear. So he hired a horse from a farmer near, and off to Vanguard he did steer. When the thrashers left Hudson's, Clifford was sore. He said, I hope to gosh I see Walker no more. Ernie said, it sure was a shame for the work they did on that piece of grain. When Walker went to get home again, he said to his men, let us get a goin', for dear knows when we'll be back here again if the darn old separator acts the same. Walker pulled the Joneses to thrash his wheat, but before he got started, it was time to eat. So after dinner, they went out to run, but Jerry said to Walker, she's on the bum. Wilford Scott took off his team, said it was the worst outfit he'd ever seen. Wilford said the thrashing he would miss so long as E.P. Walker was on the thrashers list. E.P. Walker said the strain was tense. Then Jerry dropped in the big monkey wrench. Jerry said, it's gone out the blower. Walker said, don't drop any more. The carrier slipped and broke a little trip as it went through the cylinder, rip, rip, rip. She tore and she ground. Walker yelled, shut her down. But the little engineer couldn't be found. He yelled for grain and said it was a shame that you couldn't thrash flax in the gall darn rain. He told his boys to put on their coats, for he was going out to thrash some oats. The farmers said that he'd go broke. Walker said, it's no darn joke. He rubbed his arm, said it still was sore, as a brand new sieve went rattling out the blower. Walker said he couldn't thrash Boyd. When Frank heard that, he looked annoyed. He went to Walker and said, what do you mean? Walker said, it's just the darned old machine. As Chester rode the disc, he often thought, how can I ever learn to run the old Gar Scott? Walker said, look-a-here, my boy, I can't let you play with that expensive toy. E.P. Walker mounted to the separator. E.P. Walker with his oil can in his hand. E.P. Walker mounted to the separator, took his farewell trip to the thrasher's land. When Leon Jones started to thrash, he said sure as fate something would smash. While they were there, it started to rain. They tried to thrash flax, but they tried it in vain. Turner's wheat was still on the ground. Feared very much Walker'd never get around. A.W. Ennis said he wouldn't take a chance, so he went to Regina and bought an advance. E.P. Walker mounted to the separator. E.P. Walker with his oil can in his hand. E.P. Walker mounted to the separator, took his farewell trip to the thrasher's land. This is called The Hand That Holds the Bread. Brothers of the plow, the power is with you. The world in expectation waits for action prompt and true. Oppression stalks abroad, monopolies abound. Their giant hands already clutch the tillers of the ground. Awake, then awake, the great world must be fed, and heaven gives the power to the hand that holds the bread. Yes, brothers of the plow, the people must be fed, and heaven gives the power to the hand that holds the bread. Brothers of the plow, in calm and quiet might, you've waited long and patiently for what was yours by right. A fair reward for toil, a free and open field, an honest share for wife and home of what your harvest yield. Awake, then awake, the great world must be fed, and heaven gives the power to the hand that holds the bread. Yes, brothers of the plow, the people must be fed, and heaven gives the power to the hand that holds the bread. Brothers of the plow, come rally once again. Come gather from the prairie wide, the hillside and the plain. Not as in days of yore, with trump of battle sound, but come and make the world respect the tillers of the ground. Awake, then awake, the great world must be fed, and heaven holds the power to the hand that holds the bread. Yes, brothers of the plow, the people must be fed, and heaven gives the power to the hand that holds the bread.
This is called True Worth is in Being.
True worth is in being, not seeming, and doing each day that goes by. Some little good thing, not in dreaming of great things to do by and by. Whatever men say in their blindness, in spite of the fancies of youth, there is nothing so kingly as kindness, and nothing so royal as truth. We get back our meat as we measure. We cannot do wrong and feel right, nor can we give pain and feel pleasure, for justice avenges each slight. The air for the wing of the sparrow, the bush for the robin and wren, but always the path that is narrow and straight for the children of men. We cannot make bargains for blisses, nor catch them like fishes in nets. And sometimes the thing our life misses helps more than the thing which it gets. For good lieth not in pursuing, nor graining of gate and of small, but just in the doing and doing, as we would be done by us all. Through envy, through malice, through hating against the world early and late, no jot of our courage abating, our part is to work and to wait. And slight is the sting of his trouble, whose winning is less than his worth. For he who is honest is noble, whatever his fortune or birth. Of all the mighty nations in the east or in the west, oh, this glorious Yankee nation is the greatest and the best. We have room for all creation, and our banner is unfurled. Here's a general invitation to the people of the world. Then come along, make no delay. Come from every nation, come from every way. Our lands, they are broad enough, don't be alarmed, for Uncle Sam is rich enough to give us all a farm. St. Lawrence marks our northern line as fast her waters flow, and the Rio Grande on southern bound way down to Mexico. From the great Atlantic Ocean, where the sun begins to dawn, leap across the Rocky Mountains far away to Oregon. While the South shall raise the cotton, and the West the corn and pork, New England manufactories shall do up the minor work. For the deep and flowing waterfalls that course along our hills are just the thing for washing sheep and driving cotton mills. So come along, make no delay. Come from every nation, come from every way. Our lands, they are broad enough, don't be alarmed, for Uncle Sam is rich enough to give us all a farm. Our fathers gave us liberty, but little did they dream of the grand results that pour along this mighty age of steam. For our mountains, lakes, and rivers are all a blaze of fire, and we send our news by lightning on the telegraphic wires. The brave in every nation are joining heart and hand and flocking to America, the real promised land. And Uncle Sam stands ready with a child upon each arm to give them all a welcome to a lot upon his farm. Then come along, make no delay. Come from every nation, come from every way. Our lands, they are broad enough, don't be alarmed, for Uncle Sam is rich enough to give us all a farm. A welcome warm and hearty do we give the sons of toil to come to the West and settle and labor on free soil. We've room enough and land enough, we needn't feel alarm. Oh, come to the land of freedom and vote yourself a farm. Yes, we're bound to lead the nations, for our mottos go ahead, and we'll tell the foreign paupers that our people are well fed. For the nations must remember, Uncle Sam is not a fool, for the people do the voting and the children go to school. So come along, make no delay. Come from every nation, come from every way. Our lands, they are broad enough, don't be alarmed, for Uncle Sam is rich enough to give us all a farm.
This one also from Grange Melodies, a song called Better Days to Come.
The heart may bend with weight of woe, and all the world look drear, while o'er its careworn paths we go, with nothing bright to cheer. Yet in the bosom ever dwells, though all things else are dumb, a low, sweet voice that whispering tells of brighter, better days to come. The clouds that dim our sky at noon melt before the sun, and faith reveal at eventime the brighter, better days to come. Though mortal ills may to us cling, and foul wrongs silence right, within the soul be festering, some hurt it hides from sight, still lit by a celestial spark that grows through deepest gloom. Our yearning eyes may see revealed the brighter, better days to come. The clouds that dim our sky at noon shall melt before the sun, and faith reveal at eventide the brighter, better days to come. There is no evil that can slay the faith beyond the grave. There is no might to bar its way, the spirit does not brave. Then come what will to stay its wings, to seek a better home. Within its depths the spirit sings of brighter, better days to come. The clouds that dim our sky at noon shall melt before the sun, and faith reveal at eventide the brighter, better days to come.
This is called Labor is King.
Forever and forever, the life threads twine and sever, and seasons onward rolling, our ruler's death notes tolling, but time may fly and changes ring, but labor evermore is king. Its subjects are all nations, exempted are stations, the devotees of pleasure play tribute in full measure, but time may fly and changes ring, yet labor evermore is king. In vain were eagle's pinions to flee from its dominion. It everywhere uprises in manifold disguises. A time may fly and changes ring, yet labor evermore is king. But they who own its power find sweet rewards each hour, for merciful ere proveth this king to him that loveth. But time may fly and changes ring, that labor evermore is king.
In the Grange book, this song, which is called Work, has a little subtitle. In quotation marks, it says, Our Little Grangers.
Don't think that there's nothing for children to do because they can't work like a man. The harvest is great and the laborers are few, so children do all that you can. Then work, 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 children, work. There's work for the children to do. Then work, 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 children, work. There's work for the children to do. You think if great riches you had at command, your zeal should no weariness know. You'd scatter your wealth with a liberal hand and succor the children of woe. Then work, 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 children, work. There's work for the children to do. Then work, 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 children, work. There's work for the children to do. But what if you've not but a penny to give? Then give it though scanty or sore. For those who give nothing when little they have, when wealthy will give little more. Then work, 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 children, work. There's work for the children to do. Then work, 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 children, work. There's work for the children to do.
Okay, we've got one more song in this set. And then we'll have a break. You can get up, move around, have a refreshment, maybe get some fresh air. And then there will be more. If you're up for it, The next set is going to be more of a maritime theme, for the most part, but other things seep in. Okay, this is a song from the 1950s. It was written by William Bach, and it's called The Civil War. East End was once a happy town where harmony and love was busting out at all the seams and in the trees above. The doves of peace were laying eggs. There were no signs of strife, for each man eyed his neighbor and sometimes his neighbor's wife. But a sudden change soon come about. Storm clouds were in the sky. Nobody stopped to kiss a body coming through the rye. For each man eyed his neighbor with malice and with hate. Housewives no longer spilled the beans across the garden gate. We had a war, a civil war. Folks often asked us what we're fighting for. Well, most of us wanted water mains and sewers and bathtubs too. But the rest of them decided they'd make the slop pails do. The tension in the atmosphere in 1956 was not caused by religion or party politics. The real cause of the Civil War was civic growing pains and issuing debentures for sewer and water mains. It was sewer pipes versus slop pails. The town was split in two. With profane propaganda, the air was often blue. The sewer and water faction ran a sanitary plank. They said shallow wells and slop pails and toilets always stank. We had a war, a civil war. Folks often asked us what we're fighting for. Well, most of us wanted water mains and sewers and bathtubs too. But the rest of them decided they'd make the slop pails do. But those slop pailers were stubborn. They fought with tooth and nail. They said our nitwit council should be languishing in jail. They told how high taxation and plumbers' union fees would land us in the poorhouse and they'd throw away the keys. We had a war, a civil war. Folks often asked us what we're fighting for. Well, most of us wanted water mains and sewers and bathtubs too. But the rest of them decided they'd make the slop pails do. But when the vote was counted, the slop pailers met defeat, and drag lines started tearing up our quiet village street. Now peace and harmony once more replaced the grapes of wrath. So when next you visit East End, just stop in and have a bath. We had a war, a civil war. Folks often asked us what we're fighting for. Well, most of us wanted water mains and sewers and bathtubs too. But the rest of them decided they'd make the slop pails do. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you in a bit.
Merrily sing our happy evening song. Cheerily now the joyful notes prolong. Heartily join our cheerful happy throng. Merrily sing, merrily, merrily sing. Chase away all care and sadness. Swell the anthem loud and long. Lift your hearts to joy and gladness with the echoes of our song. Then sing our happy evening song. Cheerily now the joyful notes prolong. Heartily join our cheerful happy throng. Merrily sing, merrily, merrily sing. Joyfully sing, the chorus now we raise. Crowning the night with music's grandest lays. Singing will bless and brighten all our days. Merrily sing, merrily, merrily sing. Music is a golden treasure. Beauty dwells in every sound. Joy is found in every measure. Let its pleasures now abound. Then sing our happy evening song. Cheerily now the joyful notes prolong. Heartily join our cheerful happy throng. Merrily sing, merrily, merrily sing.
This is a song from Newfoundland, written in the 1920s by Arthur R. Scammer. It's called The Squidjiggin' Ground. Oh, this is the place where the fishermen gather, with oilskins and boots and cape bands patterned down. All sizes of figures with squid lines and jiggers, they congregate here on the Squidjiggin' Ground. Some are working their jiggers, while others are yarning. There's some standing up and there's more lying down. While all kinds of fun, jokes and tricks are begun, and they wait for the squid on the Squidjiggin' Ground. There's men of all ages and boys in the bargain. There's old Billy Cave and there's young Raymond Brown. There's a red rantin' Tory out here in a dory, a-running down squires on the Squidjiggin' Ground. There's men from the harbor and men from the Tickle in all kinds of motorboats, green, gray, and brown. Right yonder is Bobby, and with him is Nobby. He's chawing hardtack on the Squidjiggin' Ground. God bless my sou'wester, there's Skipper John Chaffee. He's the best hand at squidjiggin' here, I'll be bound.
Hello, what's the row? Wow, he's jigging one now. The very first squid on the squid jigging ground. The man with the whiskers is old Jacob Steele. He's getting well up, but he's still pretty sound. While Uncle Bob Hawkins wears 6 pairs of stockings whenever he's out on the squid jigging ground. Holy smoke, what a scuffle! All hands are excited. 'Tis a wonder to me that there's nobody drowned. There's confusion, a bustle, a wonderful hustle. They're all jigging squids on the squid jigging ground. Says Bobby, the squids are on top of the water. I just got me a jigger about 1 fathom down, when a squid in the boat squirted right down his throat, and he's swearing like mad on the squid jigging ground. There's poor Uncle Billy. His whiskers are spattered with spots of the squid juice that's flying around. One poor little bye got it right in the eye, but they don't give a damn on the squid jigging ground. Now if you ever feel inclined to go squidding, leave your white shirts and collars behind in the town. And if you get cranky without your silk hanky, you'd better steer clear of the squid jigging ground. I's the bye that builds the boat, and I's the bye that sails her. I's the bye that catches the fish and takes them home to Liza. Hip your partner Sally to Bow, hip your partner Sally Brown. Fogo, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. Sods and rinds to cover your flake, cake and tea for supper, codfish in the spring of the year, fried in maggoty butter. Hip your partner Sally Thibault, hip your partner Sally Brown, Aldgate, Tridlingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. I don't want your maggoty fish, they're no good for winter. I could buy as good as that down in Bonavista. Hip your partner Sally Thibault, hip your partner Sally Brown, Fogo, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. I took Liza to a dance as fast as she could travel. Every step that she did take, she was up to her knees in gravel. Hip your partner Sally Thibault, hip your partner Sally Brown, Fogo, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. Susan White, she's out of sight, her petticoat wants a border. Old Sam Oliver in the dark, he kissed her in the corner. Hip your partner Sally Thibault, hip your partner Sally Brown, Foldgate, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle.
This is a song that was written in the 1980s by Dixon DeVore II. Among other things, he was a Maine lobster fisherman. And this is a song called Trap Day.
Got me 2 tons of bait, and I just can't wait till trap day, trap day, trap day. Got a sternman named Joe, and he's raring to go on trap day, trap day, trap day. Whatever the weather, be it sleet or snow, or let it be blowing a gale. Whatever the weather, I still gotta go on trap day, trap day, trap day. The shack needs repair and the truck's about to die, and a Loran that's going down the drain. 'Cause the weight points it's reading would only apply were I just off the coast of Spain. Got me 2 tons of bait, and I just can't wait till trap day, trap day, trap day. Got a bill at the boatyard and Boothbay to pay for hauling and getting her set. My bill at the boatyard in Boothbay, I'd say, is 5 times the national debt. Got me 2 tons of bait, and I just can't wait till trap day, trap day, trap day. Gotta get me some money to fix my old truck, to haul my new traps to the dock. Gotta work like a bull in the winter for a summer that's put me in hock. Got me 2 tons of bait, and I just can't wait till trap day, trap day, trap day. Elmer Ambrose Barry was destined to be great. He was born in 1860 in a town in New York State. He studied electricity and engineering too. Let's sing a song about the many things he learned to do. When he was 19 years old, in 1879, he invented a new kind of arc lamp, and his fame began to shine. In the year of 1900, in Washington, D.C., he founded a research institute of electrochemistry. Elmer Sperry invented many things, but the one thing you should recall is the Sperry gyroscope, the greatest of them all. He invented a new type of dynamo and a searchlight with a powerful glow, an improvement on the diesel motor, a process for making caustic soda, a process for reclaiming tin and scrap. Sperry was a brilliant chap. We can't remember all these things. There's too much to recall. But the gyroscopic compass was the greatest of them all. Plane or train or ship or sea are all on their way. They know they'll travel safely through the night or through the day. The sky, the earth, the wide blue sea are one big avenue. The gyroscopic compass keeps their straight and true. Elmer Sperry invented many things, but the one thing you should recall is the Sperry gyroscope, the greatest of them all.
That was written by an anonymous author, children's record. It's from the 30s or 40s about inventors, one of them, Elmer Andros Sperry. Now here's another one that was compiled in the Grange Melodies called When 100 Years Have Rolled.
Oh, where will be the things I love when 100 years have rolled? Oh, who will roam this garden then and claim this shining gold? Where will these little flowers be that blooms so bright, so fragrantly? These little birds so blithe and free, when 100 years have grown. Excuse me. When 100 years have rolled, when 100 years have rolled, oh, where will be the things I love when 100 years have rolled? Oh, where will be my newfound friends when 100 years have rolled? These hearts that won't to me extend, though feeble now and old, their hoary heads are bending low. They've long withstood earth's pain and woe. They'll not be groveling here below when 100 years have rolled. When 100 years have rolled. When 100 years have rolled. Oh, where will be the things I love when 100 years have gone? Where will these little children be when 100 years have rolled? That now are happy, glad, and free, that fondly now we fold. Oh, where, my soul, where wilt thou be? Does hope of heaven extend to thee? Prepare, prepare with God to be when 100 years have rolled. When 100 years have rolled. When 100 years have rolled. Oh, where will be the things I love when 100 years have rolled?
This is called the Farmer's March.
Lo, the morn of strife is blushing, to the contest men are rushing. Onward, gallant knights of labor, be ye men today. Give ye right assistance, on and span the distance of degree that mocks your manhood, manly in resistance. All the fashion in your way, let no stigma rest on labor. Vindicate yourself, ye farmers, be ye men today. Mighty in your brawny valor, turn the scoffer's sneer to pallor. Snatch the earth, ye knights of labor, be ye men today. Ever nobly bearing, ever bravely daring, all the hardship of the struggle with the weakest sharing. All the spoils that pave your way, toil and honor be your watchword. Bravely on, ye knights of labor, be ye men today.
This is called Do Not Mortgage the Farm. Fortune may sometimes forsake you, useless the struggle may seem, but be not tempted to hazard that which you may not redeem. Do not imperil the homestead, banish the thought in alarm. Make it your strong resolution never to mortgage the farm. Do not mortgage the farm. Do not mortgage the farm. For sorrow will soon overtake you if ever you mortgage the farm. Think of the time it has taken. Think of the toil it has cost, that you and your children might own it. Now do not let it be lost. Think of those hearts that enshrine you and trust you to keep them from harm. Make it your strong resolution never to mortgage the farm. Do not mortgage the farm. Do not mortgage the farm. For sorrow will soon overtake you if ever you mortgage the farm. If you would peacefully slumber, knowing no waking regret, see that your right to the homestead is not encumbered by debt.
strictest economy practice. Toil with a vigorous arm. Make it your strong resolution never to mortgage the farm. Do not mortgage the farm. Do not mortgage the farm. For sorrow will soon overtake you if ever you mortgage the farm. This is called worthiness. Whatever lacks purpose is evil. A pool without pebbles breeds slime. Not any one step hath chest fashioned on the infinite stairway of time, nor ever came good without labor, in toil or in science or art. It must be wrought out through the muscles, born out of the soul and the heart. Why plow in the stubble with plowshares? Why winnow the chaff from the grain? Since all of his gifts must be toiled for, since truth is not born without pain, he giveth not to the unworthy, the weak or the foolish in deeds. Who soweth but chaff at the seed time shall reap but a harvest of weeds. The pyramid builded of vapor is blown by the ravens to naught. The song without truth is forgotten. His poem to man is man's thought. Whatever is strong with a purpose, in humbleness wrought and so pure, is known to the master of singers. He toucheth its saying, endure.
And now, in honor of E.P. Walker, we're going to do some thrashing. Now, the word they're really saying, of course, is thresh, but I guess in that part of Canada, it is, or at least they pronounced it, thrash. Spelled it with an E. Thank you. And then one more song. This is a song from 1791. That was written by Robert Burns. Fond kiss and then we sever, a farewell and then forever, deep in heart-wrung tears I'll pledge thee, warring sighs and groans I'll wage thee. Who shall say that fortune grieves him while the star of hope she leaves him in a cheerful twinkle lights me, dark despair around benights me. I'll ne'er blame my partial fancy, nothing could resist my Nancy, but to see her was to love her, love but her, and love forever. Had we never loved so kindly, had we never loved so blindly, never met or never
one kiss, and then we sever. A farewell, and then forever, deep in heart-worn tears, I'll pledge thee. Roaring sighs and groans, I'll wage thee.
Thank you.